Hello, class ninth. So, we are going to study chapter number 10. Today is the last class of chapter number 10. Yes, this is the chapter buoyancy. And today we will study about the topic buoyancy. Yes. So, before we start this topic, let's revise whatever we studied in previous class. So, as you know that in previous class we studied about the free fall. So, free fall, what is free fall? Actually, the earth attracts the object towards it due to gravitational force. Yes, when an object fall towards the earth due to the earth's gravitational force, it is called free fall. Yes, and when an object falls towards the earth, there is a change there is a change in its acceleration due to the gravitational force of the earth. So this acceleration is called acceleration due to the gravity. Yes, and the acceleration due to the gravity is denoted by small g. The unit of g is same as the unit of acceleration. From the second law of motion, we know that force is the product of mass and acceleration. So we know that F is equal to ma, and because here we are talking that when anything fall, then it produce acceleration due to the gravity. So the formula will become F is equal to mg, and we already know that F is equal to g into m upon d square. Yes, which is according to universal law of gravitation. So we will write in the place of F mg. So the new formula will become mg is equal to g into m upon d square, and where if where the m and m will get cancelled and we will get the value of acceleration due to gravity. So the value of g is small g, with the value of gravity is g is equal to capital G into m upon d square, where m is the mass of the object. Okay, means, or you can say mass of the earth, and d is the distance between the object and the earth. Okay, so now if suppose that if the object is near the surface of the earth, then then the earth d is equal to the radius of earth r, then the formula will become g is equal to g into capital G into m upon r square. So, what is mass and what is weight? What is mass and what is weight? Mass of the body is actually the measure of its inertia. Yes, if the mass of a body is more, its inertia is more. Okay, so mass of the body is actually the measure of its inertia. So the mass of the body is constant and does not change from place to place. Yes, the mass of the body is always constant and does not change from place to place. And what is the SI unit of mass? Kilogram. And what is weight? Weight is vector quantity, and weight is actually the force. Yes, the weight of the body is the force with which the earth attract the body. Yes, the weight of the body is the force which the earth attracts the body. Yes, so the force with which a body is attracted, by the earth depend upon the mass and acceleration due to the gravity. So we can say F is equal to mg, and since the weight of the body is the force, force, so we can write W is equal to mg. Okay, because weight of the body is force with which the earth attracts the body. Okay, so W is equal to mg, and since g is actually at a place is constant, so it will be W tightly proportional to m. Means when the mass will increase, weight will increase. When the weight increase, mass also increase. Okay, so the weight of the body changes from place to place, but the mass remain constant. It does not change from place to place. And what is the SI unit of weight? Newton. Yes, and we also studied here about the weight of an object on the moon. So you know what is the mass of the earth? 6 into 10 raised to power 24, and the moon mass is 7 into 10 raised to power minus 22. Okay, and the radius of the earth is 6.37 into 10 raised to power 6, and the radius of the moon is 1.7674 into 10 raised to power 6. Yes, so kids, the weight of any object on the moon is always one sixth of its weight of the earth. Yes, so the weight of any object on the moon is always one sixth of the its weight of the earth. Suppose if the weight of any body is 60 kilogram on the earth, then the on the moon it will be around 10 kg only. Okay, what is thrust and pressure? Yes, thrust. What is thrust? Thrust is actually the force acting on an object which act perpendicular to the surface. Okay, and what is pressure? Pressure is the force acting in a per unit area. Yes, pressure is actually the force acting on a per unit area, or you can say thrust per unit area. So, pressure formula will be thrust upon area. Okay, the effect of the thrust on loose sand is larger while standing than while lying down. Okay, the effect of the thrust on loose sand is larger while standing. Okay, in comparison to while lying down. How? Because when you stand on loose sand, then the weight of your body is actually equal to the area of your feet, and when you lie down, then the same force act on the area and equal to the contact area of the whole body. Yes, in both cases the force acting on the sand, which is actually thrust, which will be the same. Okay, the SI unit of pressure is Pascal. Now let's study about the buoyancy force, actually, which is actually, you can say, upthrust. Okay, or you can say it is a pressure in a fluid. Okay, so what is buoyancy force? You know, when you sink anything in the water, then it comes up. Yes, you might have seen that many objects float. Why does it happen? Because of buoyancy upthrust force. You know that when anybody die in the water, then its dead body come on the its corpse come on the water at the surface. Why? Because the fluid apply a pressure. Yes, so fluid exert a pressure on the base of the wall on the container. Fluid exert always apply the pressure on the base and the wall of the container. Yes, fluid apply pressure in all direction. Okay, pressure actually exerted on fluid is transmitted equally in all direction. Okay, so the fluid which apply the pressure, this pressure is actually exerted in all direction. Okay, at the base, on the wall of container. Okay, and what is buoyancy? Buoyancy force is upthrust force. So when an object is immersed in a fluid, it experiences an upward force called buoyant force. Okay, this property is called buoyancy or upthrust. Yes, this property is called buoyancy or upthrust. Or when an object immersed in a fluid, it experiences an upward force which is called buoyant force. Because of buoyant force, the object comes up. Yes, but if the gravitational force will increase, then the object will sink in the water, otherwise it will not sink. So the force of gravity pulls the object downward. Yes, the force of gravity pulls the object downward, and the buoyant force pushes it upward. Yes, the force of gravity pulls the object downward, the force of the gravity pulls the object downward, and the buoyant force pushes it upward. Yes, so when the force of gravity increase, then buoyant force will become weak and the object will sink. If the buoyant force is more than the force of gravity, then it will apply, and because of it the object will float. That's why the you might have seen that ice cube float. Why? Because at that time buoyant force is more than gravity. Okay, and you know, ship float, the reason behind it is same. Well, there is one more, it also depend upon the density. Okay, magnitude of buoyant force actually depend upon the density of the fluid. Yes, it depends upon the density of the fluid. Yes, so the magnitude of the buoyant force depend upon the density of fluid. Yes, so you know that density is equal to mass upon volume. And when the density increase, and then the object will sink. When the density decrease, then object will float. Yes, the density of any object should be less than the density of the fluid. Like the density of the water is 1000 kilogram. So 1000 kilogram per meter cube. So if the any objects in per unit area, if the density is less than 1000 kilogram per meter cube, then it will float. Otherwise, it will sink. Okay. So the formula of density is mass upon volume. When the volume increase, density decrease. When the density decrease, volume increase. Okay. So volume also matter. Okay. Volume also matters. I hope you understood. Now let's talk about the principle which is called Archimedes principle. Let's move on the next point. Okay, so before we talk about Archimedes principle, let's see the question. As you can see on this screen, why object float or sink in water? Yes, the object float or sink in water. The reason behind it is density. Yes, it's all depend upon the density. If the density of the object is less than the density of a liquid, then it will float on the liquid. Yes, if the density is less in comparison to the density of the liquid on which the object is floating, then it will float. If the density of the object is more than the density of liquid, then it will sink in the liquid. Yes, suppose if the density of the object is more than the density of a liquid, then it will always sink in the liquid. Okay, so you can do some experiment, simple experiment. As you can see, take some water in a beaker. Okay, take some water and take a piece of cork and an iron nail. uh, Both should have same mass. Then place them on water. Then what will happen? Yes, take the take some water in a beaker. Yes, put a piece of cork and iron nail of same mass, place them on a water. The cork will float and the nail will sink. Yes, how comes it possible? The cork floats because the density of the cork is less than the density of water, and the upthrust force of the water, which is called buoyant force, is more than the weight of the cork. The nail sink because the density of the iron nail is more than the density of water, and the upthrust of the water is less than the weight of the nail. You know, kids, you if you have seen Ramayana in lockdown, you might have seen that when the Hanumanji and the other team of Hanumanji wrote the name of God Rama and throw the stone in the uh, ocean to make a bridge, so the stone start floating. Yes, you might have seen. Actually, according to science, these stones are actually called pumice. You can find about, you can read about the pumice stone in 5th class. Okay. So actually they float because their density is less than comparison to the density of liquid. Yes, that's why they float. And because that time buoyant force is also working. In when the buoyant force is more, gravity is less. So because of it, the those stones float. Yes, according to it. But according to Ramayana, it is the magic of the god. Yes, according to Ramayana, it is the magic of the god. And the same thing happened here, that the nail does not float, it sink because the density of the nail in comparison to the density of the liquid is more. Yes, more in kilogram per meter cube. And density is more, and the upthrust force acting on the nail is less than in comparison to the gravity. That's why it sink. The same thing happens, you know, the ship. Why does the ship float and why does the nail sink? The ship float because its density in per kilogram meter cube area is less than comparison to the density of water, and the density of water is 1000 kilogram per meter cube. That's why they float. Okay. Now, kids, let's try to understand Archimedes principle. Let's move on the next point. Okay, it's Archimedes principle. So according to this principle, that when a body is partially or fully immersed in a fluid, it experiences an upward force that is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by it. Archimedes principle has many uses. It is used in designing ships and submarines, hydrometer used to determine the density of liquid, lactometer used to determine the purity of milk. Okay, so what is Archimedes principle? Suppose, suppose kids you have a stone. Okay, suppose kids you have a stone. Okay, you sink the stone in the water. Okay, so when you will sink, because there is the area also of the there is the area also of the stone. So the stone will cover the area of which is actually it has. So it will cover the same area in the water. So when you will sink, then the water will displace, and at that place the stone will come. Yes, the displaced water mass is equal to the mass of the stone. Yes, so when a body is immersed, IMMERSED, when a body is immersed in a fluid, it experience a force. Yes, when a body immersed in a fluid, it experience an upward force which is called buoyant force. Yes, this buoyant force will be equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by it. Yes, this force, buoyant force, will be equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by it. Okay, so Archimedes principle has many uses. Yes, Archimedes principle has many uses. Okay, it is used to designing ship. Yes, ships are designed on this basis, and submarine also. Hydrometer used also to determine the density of liquid. Yes, hydrometer used in hydrometer used to determine the density of liquid. Yes, and lactometer used to determine the purity of milk. So they are actually dependent upon Archimedes principle. Yes, they are based on it. So it help to determine how much water is present in the milk. Yes, how much liquid is present, how much. So we can determine using this principle. Yes, as you can see in the picture, with the help of a spring, a stone is actually sink in the water. So it is covering the same space equal to its weight. Yes, yes, the weight is actually equal to the displaced water. Yes, okay. You can do a work, kids. You can fill a complete glass. Complete means top, at the top of the glass completely, and then sink a stone. When you will sink, the water will overflow and come out. The same, the water which has come out, the weight of the stone is equal to the actually the water which has come out. Okay, this is the way to solve it. Now let's study about the relative density. Let's move on the next point. Okay, so what is density? The density of a substance, is the actually the mass of mass per unit volume. Yes, that's the density of a substance of a unit volume of the substance. Okay, so density formula is mass upon volume. So you know that an object sink when the density increase and an object float when the density decrease. Yes, if the unit of density is the unit of the density, we can find out the formula by mass upon volume. The unit of mass is kilogram and the unit of volume is meter cube. So the unit of density will be kilogram per meter cube. Okay, so now let's talk about the relative density. What is relative density? The relative density of a substance, the relative density of a substance is the ratio of the density of a substance to the density of water. Yes, relative density is actually the ratio of density of a substance and density of water. So the formula of relative density is density of substance divided by density of water. Yes. So we know that density of water is 1000, and if we know the density of that substance, we can find out relative density. Okay. Because relative density is actually a ratio of similar quantities, so that's why it has no unit. Yes, it is the ratio of similar quantity. So because we are dividing the density from the density of substance divided by density of water, that's why it has no unit. Okay. Because relative density has no has because relative density is a ratio of similar quantity, that's why it has no unit. Okay, so remember this, the formula of density, mass upon volume. When the density increase, volume decrease. When the volume increase, density decrease. Okay, I hope you understood. Now let's move on the next point. Okay, it's time to ask question from you. So I have written 4 questions. Then our chapter number 10 will be finished. So question number 1: what is Archimedes principle? Write its uses. Yes, what is Archimedes principle? According to Archimedes principle, when a body is partially or fully immersed in a fluid, when a body is partially or fully immersed in a fluid, it experiences an upward force that is equal to the weight of a fluid displaced by it. Yes, displaced by it. Archimedes principle has many uses. It is used in designing ships, submarine. Hydrometer is used in determining the density of a liquid, and electrometer is used to determine the purity of the liquid. Question number 2: what is buoyant force? Yes, what is buoyant force? Yes, buoyant force is the force which actually act in the fluid. Okay, so when an object is immersed in a fluid, it experiences an upward force called buoyant force. Okay, this property is called buoyancy, or you can say upthrust. The force of gravity pulls the object downward, and the buoyant force pushes it upward. The magnitude of buoyant force depend upon the density of fluid. Question number 3: why does the ship float and the nail sink? The ship float because the density of the ship is less than the density of fluid, and the nail sink because the density of the nail is less in more than the density of fluid. Okay. Question number 4: define density and relative density. Yes, what is density and what is relative density? Let's talk about density. The density of a substance is actually mass per unit per volume. So the formula is density is equal to mass divided by volume, and the unit of density is kilogram per meter cube. And relative density, the relative density of a substance is the ratio of density of substance and density of water. And we know that density of water is 1000 kilogram per meter cube. There is no unit of relative density because we compare, it is the ratio of the um, same quantity. Okay. That's why there is no unit. I hope you understood. Chapter is finished. Today's class is not so long. Yes, the chapter is so small. Today's class is not long. Now we will meet in a new class with chapter 11. Till then, bye bye.